welcome to the next lecture on the statistics. Today we will discuss about the most powerful test and its example. Myself, Dr. Ghar, working in the School of Mathematics, Thapar Institute. You can simply follow my YouTube channel Dr. Harish Ghar for finding the various videos on this probability as well as testing of the hypothesis. So let's start with this video. So if you consider any of the simple hypothesis, what is the meaning of the simple hypothesis? When your H0 and H1 both are in the form of equality, you can see that. But however, if your H0 will be like here, say theta is by 1, H1 is my greater than of say 3, so it is not a equality, so this is called as composite hypothesis or compound hypothesis. So whenever you have the simple hypothesis, then in the testing of the hypothesis, our target is to find the best test which has the highest probability of the rejection. This is called as the level of significance. If you remember my last lecture on the type 1 error, this is nothing but my alpha, that is called as the type 1 error or the level of significance. So our target in this testing of the hypothesis is to find the best test which offers the highest level of significance, and that best test is called as the most powerful test. Remember, the most powerful test is applicable only for the simple hypothesis. So in other words, you can say the most powerful test is a test which are used for testing simple H0 against the simple H1, which has offered the least probability of an error and the level of significance is alpha. Also, you can say the new Pearson lemma is used to construct the most powerful test. How you can construct this test? With the help of the Neyman-Pearson lemma is there. As I told you, this test is only applicable for the simple hypothesis. However, when you have the compound hypothesis, that is when H1 is not in the form of the equality, then we are using the uniform most powerful called as the UMP test. That will be uploaded after this lecture. What is the sign of the test? So you can see there is a terms related to the level of significance alpha, and this is called as the probability of the error. So let's define with the firstly size of the test. Any of the test phi of testing the H0 against the H1 is said to be the size alpha if expected value of this phi is nothing but alpha under this condition H0. So you have to find the expected value under the H0. What is the class of the alpha? So collection of all those phi's whose expected value is less than or equal to alpha. The most powerful test, any of the test that is a phi 0 is said to be the most powerful if it is of the size alpha, that is it satisfies this property and has the maximum power of all this class, that is this property. Now the question arises is what is the existence condition of this most powerful test? So if you are testing the H0, that is a simple hypothesis, over this H1 and any alpha, that is a level of significance, there exists a phi called as the most powerful test, a constant k and the gamma such that these conditions hold. Expected value should be alpha, where phi is defined as a 1. This is called as the Neyman-Pearson lemma, and here if your alpha will be 0, then definitely this condition k will be infinite and this condition will be reduced to here. What is the necessary and the sufficient condition for the existence? The sufficient condition is when any of the tests will satisfy the condition 1 and 2 for some k and gamma, then the most powerful test, that is a phi, will existence in this C alpha. What is the necessary condition is that, so phi dash is the most powerful of the C alpha, then it satisfies these two conditions. Perhaps it has a measure 0 under H0 and H1. Remember that when our target is to construct this phi, and which as here clearly says that once you have, how you can compute the expected value of the x. So if it is a discrete, then you have to write this as x into the probability. If it is a continuous, then you have to write x into their probability. So remember again for here, this is the phi, so 1 into probability of this, that is my here gamma, probability of this 0 into probability of this is nothing but alpha. On the other hand, if you have the continuous random variable, we all know probability at a single point for the continuous random variable is always 0. So it means this factor is my 0. The only thing is my 1 when it's greater than k, otherwise 0. And then you can find the value of k by using these two condition, that is the expected value is 1 into probability, 0 into here. So remember, whenever your problem is of the discrete variables, then you have to construct the phi in terms of here, and the target is to construct the value of k and gamma. If you have the continuous random variable, then the only thing you have to construct the value of k. If your phi is the most powerful test of the alpha against the h0 and h1, and beta is my power of the test, then you can simply say 1 minus phi is also the most powerful test, having the size 1 minus beta, and the testing will be h1 against the h0. So the only difference here is you have to test it h0 versus h1, and in this case you have to test it h1 versus h0. How you can construct the most powerful test? So we will discuss these 3-step rule. The first step is you have to define the Niemann principal lemma and then construct the critical region. How you can construct the critical region? But what is a Niemann principal lemma? You have to define the likelihood function of the PDF and take the ratio of the h1 versus h0. It is greater than k. And once you will solve this, you can find the value of the x. Either it is a greater than of the k or it is a less than of the k. You can find the relation of the x and k. So on solving, you will get a relation either greater than or less than with respect to the k or the k star. What is the k star? After calculation, k star may be k1 divided by 2, or k star will be k1 plus 3 upon 4, and so on. Otherwise, you can simply take this as my h and identify that whether it's increasing or decreasing. If it is increasing, then we can say the relation is x greater than of the k star. There is no need to solve. This is the second method. We will solve the various examples by both the methods are there. And hence the critical region will be, if this is condition, then it's greater than k star. If this happens, then it's a less than. This is the first step out there. That is the construction of the critical region. After construction of the critical region, we can define the phi based on this. If it is a continuous random variable, then it's only greater than. Otherwise, gamma for the discrete case also. Step number 3, we can find the value of the k star with the help of this expected value. So in this lecture, we will describe only for this continuous random variable. That is, our target is to construct the values of only k, otherwise 0. This is my phi of x. This is my target for this. If again I recall, if it is a discrete, then you have to define for the gamma also for equality side. But if it is continuous, then there is no need of this. So we will describe the 7 examples in this video so that you can able to understand. Firstly, look about that. So x varies from here to here. So it means this is my continuous random variable. So it means our target is to solve this here. Your target is to find the most powerful test. Again, h0 and h1 both are my simple, so you can apply this most powerful test for here. So firstly, what is the sample size is? Sample size is my 1, so I varies from 1 to 1. What is the PDF? PDF is given to be here. So what is the value of the L? L is nothing but is the same of this. This is my L. Now I can substitute value. What is the h1? H1 is my theta is nothing but theta 1. So it is theta 1 square of this divided by 2 over theta naught, because h0 is my here. Theta naught minus x is greater than k. Now our target is to solve this and find the relation between x and k. So how you can, since our target is to find the value of the x, so this is a constant factor, so I can take on this side. So what will happen? This is theta 1 minus x, and minus x is greater than of the say k1. And now you can simplify it. You can simply solve this. It's a k theta naught minus kx k1, and I can solve it. This can be written as minus k1 is greater than of the x1 minus k1. So I can say x is less than of 1 minus k1 of this. So this is called as my k star, because this is a parameter which is totally independent of the x r. So this is my greater than of the say k star. You can multiply them and you can find the value of k as a k star. This is the first method. Another method is you can define the value of the h as of this. So since this is my constant value, so there is no need of this. We can take on this as a h and check whether it is increasing or decreasing. How you can check it's increasing or decreasing? We can take the derivative with respect to x. So, and if you take the derivative, it will be less than 0. Why? Because you can see that theta 1 is less than of the theta naught. So this number is less than. Once it's less than 0, it's a decreasing. So it's a critical reason is my here. So either you can solve them or you can use here. So therefore the phi will be my 1 whenever this holds and here. Now the third step is your target is to find this k star. How you can find the value of the k star? By using here. So what is the expected value of this? So it is a continuous random variable. So it will be my 1 into probability of x less than of k star plus 0 is there is my alpha. Now we can substitute here under the h0. What is the h0 is? Here. How you can find this is the 1 of this. How you can find the probability? X varies from 0 to theta. So 0 to k star. What is the value of this? At theta is my theta naught. This minus x of this is my alpha. This is the meaning of this probability of x less than of the k star, but the lower limit is my 0, so it's a 0 to k star. Now you can easily solve this. How you can solve that? This is a constant, so it can be solved with the help of here. Can you find the value of the k star from here? So it's a quadratic equation. You can solve them with the help of the discriminant rule, b square minus 4ac upon 2a. You can solve them, you will get the plus minus 1. But here, since k is lies between 0 and 1, so we can say it's always the positive number. Hence, the most powerful test phi is for this. We can substitute the value of here is the x is less than of is the required answer. Look at the another one. Again you can see this is my simple because it's the equality up here. This is also the simple and this is a normal, so it's the continuous answer. So you can apply the most powerful test by using this here. So what is the sample size? This is the n. So we can define the likelihood function is this. This is the PDF of the normal distribution and I can solve this here. Now we can substitute this value here. What is the h1? This is sigma 1. So I can replace sigma to be the sigma 1 here and sigma to be sigma 1 here. Now you can see this is a constant part, so I can take on this as here. Now I can take in is base are same, I can take and write this. So since mu is known to you and this sigma is unknown to you, how you can solve them? I can take the logarithm on the both side. I can find the relation of the x. So this I can take as a constant. I can take on the right hand side and I consider as a x star. So this is the relation of the x and here. So critical reason is my this. Otherwise you can take also the second way. What you can do, you can consider this as a function of the x called as the h of x. Here x is there. Then you can take the derivative, but in this case derivative is quite lengthy. So my most powerful test will be whatever the critical reason you have obtained. How you can find the value of the k star? We can find the value of here. So this is the continuous, so this is the probability of this factor, that is my here under h0. What is h0 is? Sigma 0, that is sigma naught. So do you think that which thing is here? Yes, this is nothing but my chi square. So what is the chi square? If I say xi minus mu over sigma square, then it's a chi square. So it means I can divide it this by both side by sigma square of the h naught. H naught is my sigma 0. So I can divide it both side by sigma 0. What is that? This is nothing but my chi square with the degree of freedom n. So once it is a n, so what is that? So I can say this is my k. This is the alpha level of the significance of this. So that is k star is my here. I can substitute the value of k from this. This is the value which can be taken from this chi square. Degree of freedom is my n. Level of significance is alpha is the tabulated value. So this is the best critical reason. You can substitute this value here. We get the best, most powerful test. Look what the next example are there. Again, this is a simple. This is a simple. This is a sample size and it's a normal. So it's a normal implies that it's a continuous random variable. So firstly, as we discussed in the last example, we can write here. So since in this case sigma square is known to you, so you have to write this quantity in terms of sigma. I can expand this for you for your reading. You can simply say I can simply add and subtract from here. You can take, this is my a, this is my b, a plus b whole square. This value is obviously as a 0, so you can see here this value. How you can do that? I know that this value is summation of xi divided by n, so I can say this is the ns scale. I can substitute this value as here. Now we can define the critical region. I can take h1, mu is mu1, so I can replace here as a mu1. This is as a constant, and h0, so it means if I write here, so it will be cancelled out because we have to taken as a mu1, so I can written here. Now again you can take in the numerator, you will get here. So I can take the logarithm, which can be written as here. I can consider this as a k1, so I can find the value of the x, that is x bar, from here. So here mu1 is greater than of the mu0, so this part is negative, so I can adjust this negative to be this side, mu1 minus mu0, 2x bar minus of this. Now I can take this on the right hand side and you can find the value of the x bar as here. So I consider this number as my k star because it is independent of the x. So therefore my, or otherwise you can take as a best second method is you can take the derivative. You can take this number as a h of x because this is the function of the x. Here instead of the x it's a x bar, so I call as the x bar here. Check whether this is increasing or decreasing. So you can simply take, you can take the derivative of this, you will get here. So what is the nature of this? Mu1 is greater than of this, so it is a greater than. So that means it's a increasing sequence. So once it's increasing, so it's a function of the x, so it can be greater than of here. That's a same for this thing. So therefore my most powerful test will be here. We can define the value of the k star by using this condition. So what is the h0 is? Mu is this one. So how you can solve this normal distribution? We have to convert into the x here. What is the x bar? We all know x bar will follow the normal distribution with sigma square by n. So here we are talking about the h. So this is my mu0. So I can subtract the mu0 on the both side and divide it by variance of this, that is a sigma square by n. So what is that? This, how you can solve that? If this is your normal distribution are there, this is my here. So can you find this value? Yes, you can easily find this number as either 1.645 depending upon the level of significance. So we call as z of alpha. As in the previous example we defined as a chi-square alpha, that is called as the upper quartile of the chi-square distribution. Here is the upper quartile of the normal distribution. So can you find the value of the k star from here? You can simplify it, you will get the k star as here. Substitute this value of k star in this case, you will get the most powerful test by the Niemann principle. Okay, look about the another one. If x is your uniform distribution are there, and again it's a simple and here. So in this case the level of significance is given to you, how large you have to take on. So your target is to find the value of n. Now here you can see both are the simple, so you have to apply the Niemann principle lemma. So as we discussed in the previous example, the critical region is my x bar is k star. What is given to you? Level of significance is here. This is the definition of the level of significance. Power of the test. What is the power of the test is? Power of test is my 1 minus beta. It is given to you 0.98. It means beta is my 0.02. Now you can solve it easily. What is the critical value? That is a x star. X bar is greater than of the k star condition. H0, that is mu is my 100. It is given to you here. Again our target is to solve this with the help of x bar. How you can solve that? We can convert into the z. So this is k star. What is the h0 mean? That's 100 sigma by root n. What is the sigma is there? Sigma is given to you as a 10. This value is given to you 0.05. So since it is a 0.05, it's a greater than, so it means it is a my one tail test. So once it's a one tail, you can see this number is my 1.05. 645 from the normal table. Similarly, from here, this is the x w complement. What is the w complement of this? That is x bar is less than or equal to k star under the h1. h1 is my mu is 110. Now you can again convert it into the z. We can write here. Again, this is a less than of this. You can take this from the normal distribution table. So this is a value from the normal table. Now from 1 and 2, your target is to solve the value of n. So from here you can find the value of the k star. From here you can find the value of the k star. You can equate them. You will get the n as 40. That means the required sample size is my 40, at least 40. Look about the another one. X follows my beta distribution. You have to target the most NP test, Neyman Pearson test, equality. That's a simple. Again, it's a simple size 1. So firstly, you know what is the PDF of the normal of the beta distribution. This is my here, where beta is my gamma distribution. Sample size is my 1, so the likelihood is again I is very strong 1 to here. That's the same R there. So that is my, this is my likelihood function. I can substitute the value here. H1 is my beta 1. This is my 1. So this is my PDF. If I substitute, what is that? What is this? M is 1, M is beta, N is 1, you will get here. So therefore, the likelihood is similar to this. So I can substitute here beta 1. So that is my beta 1 x raised to power beta 1 minus 1. And it is 1 x 1 minus 1 is greater. So it's a greater than. It's a greater than k. So it will be 1 beta 1 x raised to power, this is greater than k. I can take beta 1 as on the right hand side. It is my k upon beta 1. I call this as a k1. So therefore I can find the value of the x raised to power, this is greater than of k1. Beta 0, I consider this number as a beta 0, that is nothing but my 1. Clearly says that this is the increasing function. So what is the, if it is the increasing function, you can say this is a k star. Otherwise, as I solve this, so you can say this is my k1 raised to power 1 upon beta 1 minus 1. I call this number as a k star. Therefore, critical reason is my x is greater than k star. This is the second method. You can take a function, this is my h, and since this is my greater than, is a positive number, so it means it's a increasing function. Now your target is to find the value of the k, or you can say the k star. So how you can solve this? We can take as here. So this is under the h0. So remember, it's a beta function. So you have to integrate from k to 1, because in case of the beta function, the domain is my 0 to 1. You can see it. X varies from this. Sorry, it's a 0, and also x is less than 1. Let's say 0 to 1. So we can integrate from k to 1 of the beta function under h0. h0 is beta is my 1. What is the PDF of the h0? You can see here under the h0, beta is my 1. So if you substitute here, what is the value of this? That is my 1 x raised to power 1 minus 1. That is nothing but my 1. So you can substitute here. After solving, you will get k as 1 minus alpha. You can substitute k as this. You will get the best or the most powerful test for the size alpha. Look at one more example are there. So this is the most powerful test. Again, your target. You can see it's a simple. Again, it's a simple. It's a continuous random variable. So, and observation is my single. So your target is to find the value of the L firstly. So it's a single. So it's a 1 to 1. So it means it's a same as that of this. That is, this is again my likelihood function. So we can start from here. Either you can take on this number as a h and then take the derivative, check whether it's a greater than or less than, but it will take h dash is a u upon v square, it will take some length. You can simply multiply them. Okay, you can take the pair as of this. Now you can simplify it, or you can take as a h, you can take the derivative, it will be a greater than 0. So what is the meaning of that? It's a function of the x only. It's a greater than, we can say this is my x is greater than k is my most powerful. How you can find the value of k? as usual we can start from here. It is a continuous random variable, so it's k to maximum value is my upper value is my 1, PDF is my here under the h0. What is h0 is theta naught, so it can be written as 2 times of this plus 1 minus of 1 minus x. Now I can integrate this with respect to the x, you will get as of here. Now this is the quadratic in x. Again you can solve this with the help of here. You can take 4 as a common and it will be cancelled out of this. So you will get as a plus minus, but k lies between 0 and 1 because that it depending upon the x, and x lies between 0 and 1. So we can consider as a positive value only. So therefore the most powerful test will be x is greater than of this number. Okay, look about this one. Again, this is my simple, this is my simple, this is my simple, this is my simple, but here is a binomial. Binomial is my discrete random variable. Here x is my 1 2 3 4 5 6, again it's my discrete number. So how you can solve, how you can find the best test for the discrete case? That means you have to find the value of gamma also. But so far in this lecture we are able to learn for the continuous random variable only. So this part we will discuss in our next video. So till you can simply learn how you can solve this for the continuous random variable. So our next lecture will be on the how you can find the most powerful test for the discrete random variables. I hope you can simply learn many things from this video. You can like, share and comment this video. You can share it with your friends. Till then, best of luck students. Happy learning.